The media is clearly distraught by the widespread Republican victories. Make no mistake, these Republican victories have nothing to do with Trump staying away from Virginia, as they'd like to tell you. The media wants you to believe all that nonsense. It has everything to do, though, with Americans feeling oppressed and beat down by the left's radicalism. So I take great pleasure in watching the fake news media try to spin America's rebuke of Democrats, a rebuke many of their fellow Democrats actually join in on. Just watch the lying media go to work.
These Republicans are dangerous. They're dangerous. They're dangerous to our national security.
Critical race theory, this conspiracy theory that is really made up.
Critical race theory, which isn't real, turned the suburbs 15 points to the Trump insurrection-endorsed Republican. What do Democrats do about that?
It was education, right, which is code for white parents don't like the idea of teaching about race.
Racism raised its ugly head, and the Republican candidate used it very aptly. He followed the Trump playbook, use race, and get a win. And that's very sad.
The enduring power of the culture wars, and the Republicans are better at playing this game because it's essentially white identity politics. That works for Republicans.
I'm going to tell you something. I was at my gym today. 2 black men come up to me, and they said exactly what I've been telling you, that even black folks are totally against this whole idea of critical race theory. They don't want to be told that they are inferior. They are on to this nonsense, this race baiting by the Democrat Party, and I believe black folks are offended by it all. So I want to welcome in our senior political analyst and former Republican senator from Pennsylvania, our good friend Rick Santorum is here. Senator, good to see you.
Good to be back with you, Grant. Thanks.
All right, Senator. So black folks turned out. Hispanics turned out. There was a seat in Texas, 70% Hispanic Republicans won. What do you tell your friends in the media there as they're complaining about all this stuff?
Well, the amazing thing is that the people complaining have been playing racial politics now for generations, and that's their game. Their game is to divide. I mean, they talk about racial politics when 90+% of blacks vote for Democrats, and that's okay. But if for some reason or another, you flip the switch and say, oh, well, more whites are voting for Republicans. Oh, they're racist. It's really a very sad statement on them that they don't recognize. They don't even see themselves in the racial politics that they play. They everything that the Democratic Party has done. Barack Obama ran on there's no white America, blue America, white, black America, all those. He said, we're all Americans, and yet he governed and really divided this country and started a division with not critical race theory at the time, but the underlying theory is that we're going to do better if we divide and conquer America. That's how we're going to win elections. And now that they have gone too far, which they have, in not just saying we're going to divide America so we can win elections, but we're going to divide Americans from the very beginning. We're going to say that Americans are different simply because of the color of their skin. And that's where they've taken a step too far in their racial politics, and it's beginning to bite them.
Let me play a soundbite from Joy Reid talking about playing a little race game here. Watch this.
He's getting clobbered among white women voters. In 2020, white women voters went 50% for Biden, 49% for Trump. In this election, per the exit polls, they're going 57-43 for McAuliffe. That is not macro. That's issues.
All right, Senator, if you believe that President Trump really didn't get white suburban women, if you believe what she's saying, maybe everybody out there is realizing, you know what, some mean tweets weren't really that bad. Now we've got rioting in the streets. Now we've got gas prices at $8 a gallon. Now we've got, this critical race theory and candidates like McAuliffe saying you don't get a say in your kid's education. Those are the kinds of things that the moms are going to be steaming mad about.
No, you're right on this fact that I think a lot of suburbanites, not just women, but also suburban men, voted against Donald Trump because of the tweets and all the things that were getting people riled up against Donald Trump on a personal basis. And what Glenn Youngkin successfully did was he didn't do or say any of those things. He was a very likable, affable type of person. Didn't get involved in any kind of name calling or things like that. And like it or not, tone matters. I mean, the tone, particularly among people who are not necessarily driven by issues and policies, the tone in which you approach people matters. And I think one of the keys to this election that Republicans are going to learn from is, the Trump's agenda is incredibly popular. That's something that the Democrats really cannot deny, that the Trump agenda, what he accomplished and what he stands for is incredibly popular. And if you communicate it effectively to different types of Americans in a way that they were comfortable being communicated with, you're going to do very, very well. And Youngkin proved that last night.
And I think that's what everybody, including some Democrats, are saying, you know what, I wish we had that back. Which brings us to New Jersey. I mean, Dick Morris actually called on our show a week ago that Ciattarelli had a really good chance of winning. What do you make of that race, if you can, in 30 seconds? Sum that up for us of what happened there.
Look, it's an underfunded, undermanned campaign. I mean, maybe even more impressive than this, the president pro tem, the leader of the New Jersey Senate, lost. A long time, one of the most, probably the most powerful senator, most powerful politician in New Jersey, lost outside of Philadelphia in South Jersey to a guy who spent $150 and didn't campaign. He's a truck driver. If you want to hear the grassroots America in New Jersey rising up, yeah, Ciattarelli had too high of a bridge to climb. Too high of a mountain to climb. But that race in South Jersey, that will shake up Democrats probably more than any race that we saw out there yesterday.
1, 2, 3.
Can you imagine, Senator, if Ciattarelli had some real help from the Republican Party and boots on the ground there? This could have been a totally different situation. Great job last night.
Oh, well, thank you. I was just going to say,
real quick, but we got 10 seconds.
Another situation where the Republican Party nationally misses it. They just aren't in touch with what's going on the ground and sensing it, and it's a missed opportunity. 8 years ago in Virginia, we missed another opportunity, and when Ken Cuccinelli lost by a couple of votes, time and time again we do it. And when are we going to learn our lessons that grassroots politicians, you need to pay attention to them, even if they don't have a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, I've been hammering them over the head with that exact message. Hopefully at some point they will begin to listen. Look, I was just going to tell you, Senator, great job last night. You were a big part of the coverage. I thought all of it was fabulous. I watched all night long. You guys did a great job. Thank you for coming on.
Well, congratulations to Newsmax for having the courage to be able to see 1 + 1 = 2 and call the race for Youngkin when it should have been called 3 hours before the rest of the networks called him.
Hey, you better believe it. We've made some bold moves like that. We'll continue to do so. Rick Santorum, thank you.
You bet.
Grant Stinchfield is on Newsmax every night, fighting for the America First agenda.